All right, we're gonna get this meeting going. This is the September 2nd meeting of the ISWM Building Committee. We'll just do a real quick attendance. Greg, are you out there?
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
you don't see Nolan. Nolan, you out there? Not yet. Ken,
Yep, I'm here.
Peter,
I'm here.
and I am here. Just a quick introduction here. We've got, for those of you who don't know, Jenny Merrill from Harrington Heap. She's town council. Welcome, Jenny.
Hello.
Thank you for
Hi, Jenny.
attending.
No problem.
So I guess I'll just do a quick recap of the last meeting. We were discussing terminating the OPM's contract for convenience. And we kind of had a couple options. One was, to terminate the contract, go out, we would be without an OPM for a period of time, go out for an RFQ for an expanded scope and pursue a new contract with a new OPM. And, the questions on that one, would we need to stop work? Legally, what are we, bound to do without an OPM, and can we do that? The second option was put in an interim OPM for the time while we are searching out or requesting requesting qualifications for a new OPM. And then the other one was keep the current contract in place with our current OPM until we find a new one. I think, ideally in a perfect world, we were hoping to go with option one, where we could go for a period of time without an OPM and then just quickly put one back in place with an expanded scope to cover the transfer station. And that's where I hand it over to Jenny to kind of get her thoughts on that. We discussed it a little last week, and so we just wanted to navigate our way through this.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, so we discussed this a little bit last week. I think you're safe doing that. We also discussed, not really proceeding to make any big project decisions until the OPM is back in place, but letting the designer, can proceed to work on the construction documents, and which would then be approved, then asking them to pause, and then those would be, reviewed and by your new OPM when you have them on board. It's true that you're supposed to have an OPM on board before you hire the architect. You did do that though. And I don't see a requirement that you keep the same OPM. I mean, there couldn't be that requirement because things happen, as we said, the OPM could have died, in which case you'd be in the same scenario. So I'm not terribly concerned with the risk to, invalidate the architect's agreement or anything by the fact that there's a period of time that, you're transitioning from one OPM to another.
Understood. One thing we discussed a little bit was the pre-qualification packages, which are coming in on the 10th or the 11th. Are we able to hold on to those and just just hold on to those and make a decision once our OPM comes on board, a new OPM?
I think you are. I haven't found any firm deadlines on that. I would communicate that to everyone that that's what you intend to do. And your other option would be to just extend that deadline to allow more time for those applications to come in.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But you would want your OPM to chime in on those anyway. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I also agree. I mean, Marlene and you and I discussed there's a level of risk in assigning an employee as temporary OPM that I can see why the town wouldn't want to do that, especially if there's no real project decisions that are going to be made until your new OPM comes on board. It's just sort of muddying the waters in the future if something did, if there was a design error or something, to have a history of a town employee being in charge of, reviewing and providing the town with advice on that. It's easier if that just never happened.
Right. Understood. So would you recommend that we extend the deadline for the pre-qual packages or just hold them? Which way should we go with that?
I mean, if it was me, I'd probably extend. It just gives people more time to respond and, maybe unless there's some project specific issue I'm not thinking about, that you would want them all to respond sooner.
Yeah, I don't know of any, to be honest with you. But does anybody on the committee have any questions of Jenny? Ken, let's.
Hi, Jenny. We had also talked about the possibility of leaving the current OPM in and just not having them do work. I assume you agree that's not a good idea. It's certainly not my first choice.
Yeah, I don't know what that would do. I mean, I don't know how that would benefit the project. You guys have already decided that he's not really performing as you'd like him to.
Right. I think the only advantage it would give, and I don't think it's worth it, but I don't know how long it'll take us to get a new OPM in place. And what you're recommending is that we don't really do anything major between the time we let this OPM go and we get the new one on board. So I'm just wondering whether or not we're risking, some delay we really don't want to see in moving the project forward.
I don't think that having them on board would reduce any delays, because if they're not performing as you would like them to, I think what it sounds like is the next step that an OPM, would do is, maybe apply pressure to the architect to get their job done in a timely manner, and then also review their documents, for the town. And so you're going to want your new OPM to be the one to review those documents anyway, if you don't have confidence in your existing OPM. And that, I think that's the more time-consuming piece. I think it'll take, we thought it might take about a month total to get a new OPM on board, right?
Yeah, we have 2 weeks out on the street, and then, whatever time we need to review them, review the qualifications themselves.
Right.
So,
And if the architect works on their drawings, their materials during that time, then the OPM will just have I don't know how long it'll take them to get up to speed and review those documents, but they'll have to play a little bit of catch up.
Okay, well, a month doesn't sound like such a huge price to pay to make this happen the most seamless way.
Yeah. And Ken, I think to your point, it's interesting how this has all progressed. It's the transfer station has actually shifted to the critical path, really, because we've moved our office temporarily, so our office is in a temporary location, which kind of takes the pressure off the office itself and changes it over. The pressure is now applied to the critical path, which is the transfer station. So as far as the office goes, I think, yeah, to your point, I don't think.
Well, so I assume the idea is we're going to do an RFP for an OPM for both of those things.
Correct.
Okay.
Ideal.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense to me.
Anybody else? Greg, any thoughts, questions? Tom? You're muted.
You hear me?
The most
Greg?
common words ever said on Zoom.
Go ahead, Greg.
Is this better?
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm driving. It's a little hard to navigate everything.
Yeah.
Again, I think that all makes sense. I think, the 30 days, let's do it right. Gives us time to think through this, the next person, and, make the clean cut with him.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Tom?
I'm a mess. I can't get anything right today. Anyway, I don't think a month is going to make a big deal. I think we should do what we feel is the correct thing according to the attorneys, and we'll leave it at that.
All right. Catherine?
I agree. I would rather hold off and do what we think is right for the town. And if we have to wait, a month is not, we can do that. So I'm in agreement.
Nolan, you out there? I thought I saw you.
Yeah, I'm here. I agree as well. I think a month out, we can wait and let's get it done right.
All right, great. And Peter?
I concur with the rest of the committee at this time.
All right. I don't have any further questions.
Spoken like a lawyer.
Do you want a motion, Mr. Chairman, to extend the pre-qual process out 30 days?
Well, do we need? Here's a couple motions here, right? We need to make a motion to recommend to the select board that we terminate the OPM for convenience. Is that, Jenny? Is that would be the first one, right?
Yep.
So move.
Give me a second. Peter made the motion.
Second.
Catherine, you
Oh,
second?
that's it. Yes.
All right, Greg? All in favor, Greg?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Catherine?
Yes.
Nolan?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
And I vote yes. All right, the second one that I was pondering, but I'm not sure that we need to make a motion to recommend to the select board that we release a new OPM RFQ or allow Marlene to release a new OPM RFQ with an expanded scope to include the project management of the proposed transfer station should the A&E be funded at fall special town meeting. Is that a required motion as well, Jenny? Or
Are they going to be the ones signing that contract?
They will.
I will sign the contract.
Well then, I mean, if you're the one, if you have the contracting authority for those projects, I think you can just do that, Marlene.
So, Asa, what we've done in the past is the building committee tells me that you're ready to go out for RFQ. We go out, you do the review, you make the recommendation on the firm to hire to the select board. So that's when it goes back to the select board, is when you're ready to make a recommendation on the new firm.
Okay, so we should just make a motion to request that you allow the RFQ to go out for the expanded scope, or do we even need a motion?
You don't need a motion. When you send us the scope that includes the information for the transfer station, we'll be able to put it right out. So,
All right, so
we're just on standby until we get the expanded scope from your end.
Marlene, does the select board have to approve the termination of the other OPM for convenience? Or is that something you can just do?
It's not, I don't believe it's required, but we would provide them tonight, we would inform them tonight.
Okay. Yeah, okay, great.
Okay. And then I guess the last one we would need, as Peter was pointing out, need a motion to extend the deadline of the pre-qualification packages for the sake of bringing a new OPM on board.
And Asa, can I also make a recommendation that the committee, along with the extension for the pre-quals, I think the committee should discuss sending the architect clear direction on finishing design development and then essentially not moving forward with anything else until the new OPM has been hired and is able to assist the town with document review, cost estimates, and pre-qualification review.
Okay, so I guess we'd be looking for a motion to extend the pre-qualification deadline, pre-qualification package deadline, and send the architect direction on not moving forward past design development. And hold it on until the OPM becomes, comes on board.
So moved.
Those Ken,
Yep.
you get a second?
Second,
Good.
Greg.
Greg, seconded. All right, Greg, in favor?
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Nolan,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right, I guess that's about it. We, any other discussion that anybody would like to bring up relative to this? All right, hearing none, I think we were planning on a meeting next week. I will reach out to Greg at Helene Carl and just kind of get an idea of what they have in terms of presentation material, if any. And I will follow up at the end of this week with a with an agenda and supporting information. Is everybody all right with next Tuesday at 3:30 hybrid meeting?
Yes.
Yep.
Great.
Yes.
Catherine, Tom,
Yes.
Ken,
Yep.
Nolan,
Yes.
did I get everybody? Everybody's good with that? All right. All right. I'll follow up with that. Thank you for everybody for the quick and productive meeting today.
Well, motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Love how formal.
Second.
Peter and Catherine, you second that?
Yes.
Greg,
Yep.
Tom,
Yes.
Catherine,
Yes.
Nolan,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Nice to meet you, Jenny. Thanks.
Thank you all.
You,
Yep.
Jenny.